Hi everyone, welcome back. So yesterday's class we studied about directors. In that class we studied about the various types of directors, the minimum, the maximum, one resident director is required, about the appointment of directors, the entire process, which meeting we appoint. Then we also studied about how do we remove the directors, right? So in case you feel you're missing some point, please go back to the previous video and just check out the notes. Okay, so today we are going to start about meetings. All right, now what is a meeting? Meetings is where people come together and they do some kind of a discussion, right? Now there are two types of meeting from Companies Act perspective. One is your board meeting, one is your general meeting. Board meeting is where the board of directors are going to meet. All right, the shareholders are not there. It's only the directors who come together, and yes, the company secretary is also there all the time in the board meetings. So they discuss about the policy and the decisions about the company, they how to implement strategies, all those things. General meeting is where apart from the directors we also have shareholders. All right, so directors, shareholders, they meet together. That is known as your general meeting. There are basically two types of general meeting. One is your annual general meeting and one is your extraordinary general meeting. However, for your CSEET syllabus, they have only focused on AGM, not on EGM. That you would be doing it in your executive level. Okay, so let us start. Okay, so here we come. This is your meetings. Meetings, we have two things coming out, two pop-ups from the mind map. One is your shareholders meeting, that is also known as your general meeting, and another one is your board meeting. Okay, now we'll be doing about board meetings today. What is the need for a board meeting? Why do we have a board meeting? As you all know, you people have an MCQ pattern. MCQ can be asked from any sentence. So although we have given you an exhaustive list of MCQs, you need to take attention and pay attention in these kind of things also. So what is the need for a board meeting? Why do we need a board meeting? The first thing is to devise policies. Okay, the directors have to devise a certain policy. It could be a marketing policy, a product policy, how to manage the company, how to increase sales, how to do your marketing, any kind of policies. Okay, so they do this to devise policies. The second thing is to drive the management, strategize and evaluate the expectations of shareholders. So this is basically to make the management get involved in the company. They evaluate the expectations of stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? We have already discussed this. Stakeholders are not just your shareholders, they are also your customers, the government, the society, everyone who has any kind of relationship with the company are your stakeholders. So we also plan strategies on what is the expectations of stakeholders from us. Like, for example, government is also kind of stakeholder. So what is the expectations of government from the company? What kind of laws it wants us to follow? What kind of CSR activity it wants us to do? So we evaluate all those things and make strategies. Strategy is nothing but a plan on how to do something. So that is what is the need of a board meeting. The next point is, when is the first board meeting conducted? Please remember this, very important. The first board meeting has to be conducted within 30 days of incorporation of the company. The company got incorporated on 15th of April 2020. The first board meeting has to be held within 15th May 2020. Okay, you can hold it the next day also, but within 30 days. Now, coming to the next point, minimum number of board meetings. How many minimum number of board meetings are required? Okay. So the minimum number of board meetings is different for different companies. On a regular basis, for almost all regular companies, they need 4 board meetings in a year. How many board meetings in a year? 4 board meetings in a year, and it should not be a more than 120 days gap between 2 board meetings. Now, what does this mean? Let us think that your year is, say, from April to March. You are supposed to have minimum how many board meetings? 4 board meetings. Supposing you conduct one board meeting in April, one in May, one in June, one in July. Done with 4 board meetings. Now you do not hold any board meeting. Is it valid? It's not valid, because the reason behind this is that there is a huge gap from July till next year March where there is no board meeting. So that is not a nice thing to do with a company, because you need to have regular meetups. Okay, so that's why they have this system where you need to have 4 board meetings, and between 2 board meetings there should not be a gap of more than 120 days. So for example, if you have held a board meeting in April, then the next board meeting should be May. 1st April you hold one board meeting, so the next 1st May 30 days, 1st June 30 days, 1st July 30 days, 1st August 30 days. That is, till 1st August it is 120 days. So the next board meeting should be held before 1st August. Okay, you should not have 2 board meetings with a gap of more than 120 days between them. So I hope this point is clear with all of you. In case you are having a board meeting on the 1st April, the next should happen before 120 days. And then again, the 3rd board meeting, if you have held the 2nd board meeting in say 30th July, then the 3rd board meeting also should happen within 120 days. Is this clear with all of you? We'll discuss more on this in our weekly live session. So this is one of the important things. Minimum is 4. Any limit on maximum number of board meetings? There is no limit on maximum number of board meetings. You could hold board meetings every day also. Okay, it doesn't really happen, but I'm just trying to give you this as an example. You can hold it every day also, not an issue, absolutely. But for certain companies, like say a OPC company, a small company, a dormant company, they don't need to hold board meetings 4 times in a year, because they hardly have any business to do. Small companies, they don't need to discuss so much in board meetings. It's a small company. Then another is your dormant company. We studied about dormant company. It's basically sleeping. So if a company is sleeping, it's actually not doing any work. It doesn't need to have 4 board meetings in a year. So for them, what is the concept is at least 1 board meeting in each half of the calendar year. That means, what is each half of the calendar year? Wait, I'll just explain this to you, people, from a whiteboard. The 2 halves of a calendar year. 2 halves of a calendar year. All right. So what is this 2 halves of a calendar year? The 2 halves of a calendar year is your first half is from 1st Jan to 30th June, right? Now, the second half would be from 1st of July to 31st of December. So these are your 2 halves of a calendar year. Now for a OPC company or a small company or a dormant company, what they are saying is hold at least 1 board meeting in each half of the calendar year. They're saying that hold 1 board meeting in each half of the calendar year. Now 1 board meeting here, 1 board meeting over here. Okay, so this is your 1 board meeting which they are holding in each half of the calendar year. Then what they are saying is that there should be at least a 90 days gap between the 2 board meetings in case you are holding only this 2 meetings. Again, over here, the reason being is, supposing you hold 1 board meeting in say 30th of June. So it falls in that 1 half of the calendar year, and then the 2nd board meeting you hold it on say 30th of July. So you are following the purpose that 1 board meeting is in the first half of calendar year and the 2nd board meeting is in 2nd half of calendar year. However, from 30th July till 30th June, almost like 11 months, you are not holding any board meeting. So that's also not the correct thing to follow. So what they are saying is that hold a board meeting in each half of the calendar year, and then between the 2 board meetings, keep at least a 90 days gap. All right. So what they are trying to say over here is that if 1 board meeting is conducted, then the gap between 2 meetings should not be less than 90 days. If you're holding more than 2 meetings, then it's okay. But in case you're holding only 2 meetings in a year, then you should make sure that between them there is a 90 days gap. So for example, if you've held the first board meeting in say 1st of June, then the second board meeting should happen 1st July, 1st August, 1st September, 90 days done after 1st September. All right. So this is the point for the OPC, small company and dormant company. Now, this exception is there where if a OPC company has only one director, you people remember OPC company minimum requirement is one director. Only one director is there in an OPC, then would he have a board meeting? Yes or no? No, because whom would he talk to in a board meeting? He cannot be talking to a wall, right? So in this case, what happens is, for an OPC company with one director, board meetings is not required, but whatever they decide, they need to put it down in the minutes. Okay. Now for the Section 8 company also, it's a similar concept. One meeting within every 6 calendar months. That means between Jan to June, one board meeting. Between July to December, again, one board meeting. Okay. So please be clear with this entire minimum board meeting concept. The minimum board meeting concept is your maximum any number of board meetings is possible. Minimum board meeting concept is every company should have at least 4 board meetings in a year. And between the 2 board meetings, the gap should not be more than 120 days. Okay. So it can be a less than 120 day gap, less than 120 day gap, less than 120 day gap. And from here to here also less than 120 days gap. Okay. But for Section 8, dormant companies, OPC companies, and your this small companies, there should be 2 board meetings in each half of calendar year. Jan to June, 1 board meeting. July to December, 1 board meeting. Between the 2 board meetings, there should be at least 90 days gap. This is if there are only 2 board meetings happening. All right. So please be very clear with this part. Now coming to participation mode, how can the directors participate in the board meeting? Either they can come themselves in the meeting room and participate in person, or do it through video conferencing, or any other audio visual means is allowed. This is only for the board meetings. Okay. Then quorum. Now what is a quorum? Have you ever heard of this word quorum? See, quorum is the minimum number of people required to be present to constitute a valid meeting. Okay. Means what? That, for example, say I'm taking a class, okay, and there are supposing say 50 students, and there is some strike and only 2 students turn up. So it's very less to be running a class, right? So we have a fixed number of people. Say over here, what we have is if at least 50% of the people turn up, we will hold the class. All right. So that is your quorum. Minimum how many people should turn up for the meeting to be valid. And this is not fixed by the company. Everything is fixed by the Companies Act. So what is the quorum? Quorum is 1/3 of the total strength or 2 directors, whichever is higher. Now, for example, in a public company, what is the minimum number of directors? 3 directors. What is 1/3 of 3 directors? 1. But can a 1 director hold a valid meeting? No, you at least need 2 people to hold a meeting, right? So over here, what happens is that at least 1/3 of the total strength of the directors should be present. For example, if 12 directors are there, okay, what is 1/3 of 12? 4. So minimum 4 directors should be present in the meeting to be having a quorum. Okay. Now, if 3 directors are total directors, 1/3 of 3 is how much? 1. But 1 or 2, what is higher? 2 is higher. So at least 2 directors should be there to form a quorum. If 6 are the total number of directors, what is 1/3 of 6? 2. So 2 directors is present, quorum is satisfied. Now, for example, 9 directors are there total. 1/3 of 9, what it is? 3. 3 or 2, what is higher? 3 is higher. So if 2 directors are present, then it is not quorum. Quorum has to be for 3 directors in case the total number is 9. Okay. So just need to compare 1/3 of the total number of directors and 2. Whichever is higher, whatever is higher, that number is the quorum. Okay. So this is all about your board meetings. This is the basics what we have done in board meeting. The board meetings has a lot of details, okay, which all you would be learning it in CS executive syllabus. Now coming to the next topic, that is your shareholders meeting. We all know what is a shareholder. You buy the shares of a company, you become a shareholder. Now for these shareholders also, we hold meetings in a company. Okay. So now we are going to study about shareholders meeting. Shareholders meeting are also called as general meetings. Shareholders meetings is also known as meeting of the members. The decision-making powers of a company are vested in the members and directors. Who takes decisions for a company? See, most of the things is done by directors, okay? But Companies Act also tells a certain set of things. Like for example, if you want to do this, directors cannot take the decision. Directors have to take shareholders' permissions. Okay, like for example, if you want to sell off an entire undertaking or a huge portion of the undertaking, like say you have the company, that is the company has a factory in Shivakasi for crackers. Now that entire undertaking, that entire thing you want to sell off, the directors cannot take that call. The directors cannot take such a big decision. Okay, so if they want to do something like that, first the directors will hold a board meeting, they will agree to it, then they will call for a general meeting, then they will ask the shareholders. If the shareholders approve only, it can be done. So certain decision making is done by the directors. Then they exercise their respective powers through resolutions passed by them. As I already explained to you, there are two types of resolution, ordinary and special resolution. So whatever is the requirement, like for example, Companies Act tells you, all these things you want to do, you need ordinary resolution. All these things you want to do, you need a special resolution. So whatever is the requirement, according to that, we have to get the resolution passed. Ordinary resolution, more than 1/2 of the people should agree to it. Special resolution, more than 3/4 of the people present should agree for it. Okay. Now coming to the next part, that is your AGM. As I told you, there are two types of shareholders meeting, AGM and EGM. Extraordinary general meeting, which can happen any number of times in a year. Annual general meeting happens only once in a year. So let's study about AGM. AGM is an annual compulsory event. Every year it happens and it is compulsory to do it. Okay. AGM should happen one in each calendar year. That is between Jan to December, you should have at least one AGM. Okay. The subsequent ones should happen within 6 months of the ending of the financial year, that is 30th September, or 6 months from, that is basically the meaning is 6 months from 31st March. Means what they are trying to say, from the financial year ending, which is what is the financial year ending? 31st March. So from 31st March, within 6 months of the financial year ending. Okay. Now what is 6 months from 31st March? 6 months from 31st March is 30th September. Correct? Now from 31st March to 30th September, 6 months. They are saying that within 6 months from the ending of the financial year, you should hold a annual general meeting. The subsequent one means the next ones from second number onwards. So that is the idea. You should have an AGM before 30th of September. Okay. Now the gap between two meetings should not exceed 15 months. This is also very important. Like say in 2019, one second. Say in 2019, you held the AGM on 31st July. 31st July, you held a AGM in 2019. Okay. Now, in 2020, when should you hold the AGM? Between 31st July and the next date of AGM, the gap should not be more than 15 months. Okay. So say for example, if you are planning to hold the meeting on 30th September, what does the gap between the two become? How much is the gap between the two? 31st July to next year 31st July, then August, and then September. So it is only 14 months. So this is valid. Okay, so this is allowed. You can do this. 2019, you hold the AGM on say 1st of June. Okay. And the next AGM you hold in 2020, the AGM that you are holding next is 30th of September. Okay. So how much is the gap between the two? It is from 1st June to 1st June, 12 months, then June, July, August, and September. So it is becoming 16 months, which is more than 15 months. Hence, this is not allowed. Okay. So this will not be allowed because the gap between the two AGMs should not exceed more than 15 months. Now, coming to the next part, when should the AGM be held? The AGM should be held only in business hours. That means the AGM should be called between 9 to 6 p.m. only. You cannot call for an AGM at 6:30 p.m. You can call for an AGM at say 5 p.m. And if the AGM extends beyond 6 p.m., it's okay. There is no worry on that, okay? But the AGM should be called between 9 to 6 p.m. So if you're calling the AGM at 5 p.m. and the AGM continues till 6:30 p.m., it's not a worry. However, you cannot call for an AGM at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. It's not allowed. It should be in business hours, 9 to 6. Now, very important point is AGM should never be called on a national holiday, okay? Now, most of you do not understand what is a national holiday. You think Sunday is also a national holiday. Diwali is also a national holiday. It's not. New Year is also a national holiday. You think so, but it's not like that. Sunday is a public holiday. It's not a national holiday. So a general meeting can be called on a Sunday. Very important. This is one MCQ which a lot of people get it wrong, because when they they give you the date 10th of June, Sunday, the company called for a general meeting. Is it valid? Something like that. So it is valid because Sunday is a public holiday. The national holidays are only 15th August, 26th January, that is your Republic Day, 2nd October, that is your Gandhi Jayanti. So on these three national holidays date, you cannot call for a annual general meeting. And where should you call for annual general meeting? Like say your company is registered in Mumbai and you think, okay, let's have a general meeting somewhere in Maldives, and you call for a general meeting in Maldives. Is it valid? It's not valid. Most of the members would not be coming, right? So where you have to hold the general meeting should be held at your registered office. Supposing you have your registered office in Bombay, somewhere in Andheri, okay? So either you should hold it inside the registered office, which most of the time is not possible because registered office cannot always, they don't have the capacity to seat so many people. So you can, most of the good companies, they hold AGMs in some 5-star hotels. So you can hold it in some other place which is there in the same city of your registered office, same city, town, village. So if your registered office is in say Bombay, then you can hold a general meeting somewhere in a Sahara hotel or a Taj hotel. You can hold it somewhere in that place. So you can hold it in registered office or some other place in the same city, town, village. What will you discuss in the annual general meeting? This is again very, very important. Okay, I call it the adda. That is ADDA. Okay, in Hindi, adda means to catch up with friends. To sit and catch up with friends. So what do you discuss in an annual general meeting? We discuss about adda. The first A is annual accounts. We consider the financial statements and the reports of the board of directors and auditors. So whatever was the yearly P&L, balance sheet, the auditor's report, everything, we lay it down in front of our shareholders to consider that. Okay, that is your first A. Second is declaration of dividend. Dividend is something, the share of profit from what we have earned in the company, we want to offer that share of profit to our shareholders. So that is what is dividend. We declare this dividend. This is already approved by the board in the board meeting by the directors. Over here, we just declare it and confirm it in front of the shareholders. Sorry. The next D is appointment of directors in the place of those retiring. In this, D is directors. So we appoint a new director for anyone who's retiring. All right. The next A is we appoint the auditors. The auditor appointment is finalized only in the general meeting. It is, although that is approved by the board of directors, everything happens first in the board of directors meeting, but it has to be approved in the general meeting. So the auditors are appointed, we fix up their remuneration, and then only this is done. Okay. Any other special business. AGM, we can discuss some other special business also, but this 4 is the ordinary business. Anything apart from this 4 is known as special business. Okay, special business does not mean something really different or really special. Basically, this 4 is ordinary business, that is your A, D, D, A, annual accounts, dividend, director appointment, auditor appointment, and fixing of remuneration. Apart from this 4 things, anything else is your special business. That also can be done. Okay, now whatever is this provisions of holding AGM and how to hold AGM and all these things, CG can exempt any company to follow these provisions. CG, your central government. So central government can tell that, okay, these are the category of companies who need not follow all these provisions. So only central government has the authority to do that. The next part, the last part of the meetings portions, and that is fine. Yes. If you do not follow all these things, everywhere what happens, Companies Act tells you, you need to give a fine. What is that fine? Who pays the fine? Company and every officer in default. Okay, officer in default meaning you're not learning in CSET, CS executive. There's a proper definition for who is officers in default. Okay, so company and every officer in default will get a fine of up to 1 lakh rupees if you don't do this provisions properly, if you do not follow the condition of holding meetings and all that. If you continue to do default, like for example, you have not held AGM and you have continued not to hold the AGM for some time, then for every day you have to pay a default of 5,000 rupees per day. So the fine is up to 1 lakh, and if you still do not hold the AGM and you continue to on that default line, then you have to pay a fine of 5,000 rupees each day. Okay. So guys, that's all about meetings today. What we studied today in the meetings part was board meeting, general meeting, and the fines that you need to pay. Board meetings, 4 board meetings in a year minimum, maximum no limit. 4 board meetings, between 2 board meetings, not more than 120 days gap. Okay. OPC, small company, dormant company, section 8 company, minimum 2 board meetings, 1 in each half of the calendar year. Calendar year is Jan to December. And 1 meeting in each half of the calendar year. Between the 2 board meetings, minimum 90 days gap should be there in case you're holding only 2 meetings. OPC with 1 director, what do? No board meeting is required because definitely 1 director cannot hold a meeting and talk to himself. That is one thing. Then general meetings, annual general meeting, the 4 things of ordinary business. Any other special business also can be discussed. When do we hold annual general meeting? Once in each calendar year. Subsequent is 6 months from the ending of the financial year. That is, before 30th September, it should be held. Another important point, between the 2 board meetings from 19 to 20, the gap between them should not be more than 15 months. Okay. So this is all that we studied about the meetings chapter. And see you all in the next chapter where we will be discussing business ethics. Till then, bye-bye.